Hello, and welcome to the Miniatures Rundown Podcast, Episode 2. I'm Josh, and this is my co-host, CJ.
Hello.
What you been up to?
I don't know. It's after the holidays, so I'm full of cheese and I don't know what day it is.
So eating, mostly.
Yeah, that's
Full of holiday cheer.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things like, hey, what does your family do when you go and have holiday stuff? We eat, and then we feel really tired, and we complain about movies.
Ah, I see. Yeah. Oh, man, I was at my aunt's on Saturday, and I was forced, I tell you, to watch the 2005 Charlie and the Chocolate Factory remake.
I'm sorry.
Which I had never seen before, and is a terrible movie. and then, CJ, the movie ended, and the credits for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory came on. The good one with Gene Wilder.
What?
And they changed the channel. Heathens! Monsters!
Fools!
A war crime!
Fools!
Ah!
Yeah.
He said it was boring. Maybe I'm just getting old.
Is your extended family older or younger than you are?
Yes. So
Okay.
both.
You're just surrounded by morons.
Yes.
So just like your day-to-day life.
Wow. But what you been up to hobby-wise?
Well, I promised myself that I wasn't going to do any hobbying over the holiday, and lo and behold, it was 7 a.m. on Christmas morning. Everybody was asleep, and I'm sitting there painting Helbrecht.
I did see your pictures for that. They looked great.
Thank you.
Wait, you promised yourself you wouldn't do any hobbying over the holidays?
Yeah, because I had been doing more than I thought was healthy, just because I was just sitting around farting around with miniatures like most day, and so. I was gone.
I fail to see any problems with this at all. What are you talking about? That sounds like a dream to me.
Mm-hmm. It's just I don't know. I was worried I was going to burn myself out on doing it.
That's absolutely fair.
Because I had a big game a couple of weeks ago, and it's like, all right, I'm going to knuckle down, and I'm going to crank out all these miniatures. I was desperately tired of painting black and white and
painting
red.
the same thing for that long can really be
detrimental to one's mental health.
Oh, who doesn't get sick of black, white, and red sometimes?
It's a newspaper.
Or a penguin in a blender. Oh, you don't.
No, I've heard that. It came out
grade
last
school memories come floating back. I chased the Capri Sun on the playground. The Lunchables in the morning.
Oh, gosh. I had a Lunchable the other day. And I was just like, all right, the charcuterie tray for the poor kid.
I always got the pizza ones.
No, I got a ham sandwich ones.
Delicious. My hobbying has been rocks.
Yeah, I saw the pictures of your rocks.
I've been painting rocks.
Just rocks. Now explain to me what the point of the rocks is.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
And again.
Always two there are.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared for the Star Wars quote for sneezing. The point of the rock. So my friendly local game store, where I also work, fantasy games.
Careful, you're covering up the logo.
Yeah, oh, sorry. The owner asked me to paint some terrain, just some terrain to have for the shop and to maybe use for some of the box art because we do that thing before we license it out to other companies and stuff like that. Yeah. And so it's just rocky terrain. Pictures here. Painted up a couple sets of that. Was a ton of fun. This is the first time I've ever really painted FDM 3D prints.
Okay.
I'm very used to resin 3D prints, but filament extrusion prints, of course, if you don't know, that's where there's a nozzle that just one layer at a time squeezes out hot plastic, which is why if you look really closely, you can see the layer lines, which with some things is a problem. If you're trying to paint a 20 millimeter figure, that can be a problem because you can see the layer lines on their face. But for rocks, I found out it actually works perfectly and actually kind of adds to it because instead of these featureless rocks, they have texture.
Yeah,
and
inbuilt texture.
Rocks have texture in real life. I was mostly following tutorials by Vince Venturella. He has a couple wonderful tutorials, in particular one on stone, which I love so much I might actually link that down below.
Yeah,
because it was a lifesaver. And painting up great-looking terrain using nothing but dry brushes, washes, and pigments.
Oh, wow.
At no point did I put a paintbrush in a palette and thin my paint and put in any effort. It was all dry brush it, wash it, dry brush it again, put some pigments in there, This is also the first time I got to play with pigments. I went to my local, what's the one down the street? Hobbytown, USA.
Oh, yeah.
Because unfortunately, we don't carry pigments here at Fantasy because that's more of a niche.
You would have told me you were going to Hobbytown. I would
Sorry.
have some gunpla.
Probably going later today. Because they're open until 6.
Oh, better move.
This is not sponsored by Hobbytown USA, but I do think they carry great stuff. In particular, they carry the Vallejo pigments and the Vallejo metal colors. Those things that are more for like scale modelers or gunpla. And oh my gosh, the pigments are so much fun. You just take some like iron oxide pigment and you like jam it in the cracks. Yeah, like that with a really crappy brush. Oh. And then you wash over it with Agrax Earthshade. And it looks like iron oxide in rocks. It's so easy and so much fun. It took me maybe 3-4 hours to do like 3 nice pieces of terrain for each one. Wow. And now I'm doing a bigger one. So, but I'm also breaking it up because you mentioned Burnout. Something I've heard from a lot of people, and I forget where I heard this from, but apparently it is psychologically optimal to have 2 projects at any given time. Not 1, not 3, 2. 2 that you can switch between.
Right, okay.
To be the most productive in any field of anything that you're doing. We
That
work
explains
best.
a whole lot about my productivity.
Yeah, if you have too many, you scattershot. If you have 1, you get burnt out. So I've also been painting my Necromunda.
Oh, cool.
Picture here of the one guy I painted.
Your little dirt bags.
Yep, my little Necromunda outcasts. They're very fun because you don't have to paint them all wearing the same thing. Now,
that can be.
I am giving them all a common color. They're all going to be wearing green of some sort, like their cloth is going to be green because they're a gang. So they've tried to coordinate, but they're an outcast.
Oh, so you're painting him Jade Falcon, is that right?
No. I got yelled at because I painted my BattleTech minis, and apparently I painted them Jade Falcon without trying.
Close to it, yeah.
Or close enough. Then again, you paint a BattleTech. Did you know that posting pictures of BattleTech minis on Twitter is a great way to hear all of the very opinionated people about BattleTech?
Or you can just come to the shop on Saturday and have that one weirdo talk.
Heyo!
But yes. Incidentally, I should do that. Because I love getting fights with people on Twitter.
Yes, you do.
It's a hobby.
Yes, you do. It is for you. Oh, so that's what I've been doing.
Cool.
What you been playing?
Well, I forewent my usual Age of Sigmar last night.
So did I. I couldn't get my car up the hill leading out of my dead-end street because of the snow.
Yeah.
I tried. It fell back down.
You tried. A for effort. Yeah, I also was caught out unawares. It was not snowing when I left the house, and because I had to go to the county city building for my job, I decided to wear sandals. Because the shoes that I'm wearing right now are steel-toed, and I didn't want to get screwed around with the metal detectors.
Right. Oh, that makes sense. Were you wearing socks with the sandals?
Nope.
I mean, that's at least... On the one hand, it is December... Checks notes December 28th, and you were wearing sandals. I think you kind of got what you got, man.
I might have gotten... I knew my feet were going to get a little chilly, but then then I was going to go to my friend's house and hang out in his basement, which is nice and heated.
Okay.
To play the other game of Warhammer. And then when I left the house, it was not snowing. And when I came back to the house, it
was snowing.
I was like, that's a lot of snow. That's not how this is supposed to work.
Well, to be fair, it is December. If it wasn't for whatever, what's the name of that one climate thing? Not climate change. Besides climate change, the El Nino. It's an El Nino cycle, so there's a lot of hot air going around. It's a warm winter regardless.
I mean, it's mostly coming from Washington. Anyway. Bow.
Yeah, I also had to skip my AOS game, which is a shame. My AOS game last week. Obviously, I won't blab too much about my games because I know people.
It's very boring to listen to people describe games. When
all I will say is that I played a Cities of Sigmar list with with Krondis and an Ironclad.
How'd that work out?
It was fun.
Over in 2 turns, huh?
I nuked a knight or a Lord Imperatant.
Oh, there you go.
And stopped my poor Free Guild guard from getting meteor striked by Grand Hammer Annihilators.
Well, there you go.
That alone is fun. That was worth it.
Yeah.
But no, it didn't work great. Spoiler: putting 1,000 points in 2 models is not a great plan. usually.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and so next week, you're going to pick up Alarial.
So next week when I play a Living Cities list with Alarial and Krondus, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
I'm sure this one will work way better.
So, yeah, my game on Monday night was against a Crusher Stampede list.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Beep, beep, Nibzo's back, baby!
Now, to be fair, that was at 1250 points, right?
Yes.
And as pointed out in our Discord by good old Kevin, play things at 2K before you judge whether things are overpowered.
Yeah.
It's like Sons of Behemoth in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
If you play Sons of Behemoth at 1,000 points, you're not playing.
Yeah. There was, and it's also been noted that I roll like crap sometimes, so. But
This is also very true of you, yes.
he also had 2 Dimocharons and 1 Barbed Hyrule, which are Forge World models.
I was about to say, I've never even heard of those.
It's a big honka badonkadonks.
Big bugs.
Yeah, big bugs.
I made my first Forge World, or I'm making my first Forge World order ever this weekend. I'm teaming up with some other people. We're all going to pitch in and get a bunch of Forge World orders. And
Sweet.
That way we get free shipping.
Hey.
Because I think it's like 125 for free shipping to the United States.
That's a lot.
I'm getting Necromunda models. Obviously. Because I'm in like Flint.
Yeah. My first Forge World order actually happened at just before the pandemic. I ordered one of the Riptide variants.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you know what that sounds like a great segue towards?
Hey!
News. It's the news. Let's start with your favorite news that you've heard in a long time.
It is December 28th, and Railheads are back in a big way. Railguns are deleting demon Primarchs left and right. I'm gonna bracket a knight in one shot.
Let's give some context here.
All right.
So, as we've known, the Tau Codex is coming up.
Yes, and it's looking.
And as Games Workshop does, they are releasing previews. Last time it was the Fire Warriors getting a range increase, a built-in armor piercing.
Yep, and their Pulse Carbine's getting an extra shot, I think.
Oh yeah,
or something like that. It's good.
And this week, hot off of the presses on Warhammer Community is some spoilers for the Hammerhead gunship. I think it's just the railgun, right?
It's just the railgun, yeah.
Well, that's all they needed to spoil. At current time of recording, the Hammerhead gunship is sold out on Games Workshop's website. And
like an hour ago.
CJ, tell me why.
All right, so the railgun, which had been all right for the longest time, is now, okay, so it always was 72 inches.
Right.
So,
across the board.
Reach out and touch somebody. It is now heavy 1, where it used to be, I think it was always heavy 1, but I think, there was something you could do to make it shoot better. But now its strength has been upgraded from 10 to 14. It is now AP -6 instead of -4.
But I have an invulnerable save, right?
Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, that was the joke.
It's damage D3 plus 6.
Which is an average of 7 or 8.
Between 7 and 8 wounds,
Yes.
yeah. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, invulns cannot be made against it.
Oh.
Each time a successful wound roll is made, so even if the shot doesn't go through, the target suffers 3 mortal wounds in addition to other damage.
Well, here's the thing. It has a -6 AP.
Yes.
And invulns can't be used.
Yes.
There is no possible way the shot doesn't go through if you make the wound roll.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, unless there's some rule that I'm not thinking of.
Well, in addition, so, like...
Because feel no pains are rolled after you determine how much damage you take.
Yeah.
So once you roll the wound roll, there's nothing in the game that is going to not take the hit. Right. Unless something has a 2-up save and you've got some +1s to undo the save stack against the -6.
I mean, there's some ways you have to really save stack against it.
Right, yeah.
But, like, if you... Yeah,
that's just nasty.
Bang.
And this is why Games Workshop does these previews, is because this has got people talking.
Yeah. Oh, each time this unit's Hammerhead model is selected to shoot, you can reroll 1 hit roll when resolving its attacks.
Right. So even if it's only hitting on 4s, you're gonna this is gonna nuke 1 thing per turn.
Yeah. This deletes 11 Russ a turn.
Right.
I do like the kind of the fluff reason for why the Hammerhead guns does 3 mortal wounds in addition, though, because a hypervelocity slug like that if you shoot at an infantry, obviously it vaporizes one dude, and then everybody else around it gets hit by the blast wave.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And boy, we could talk about what this means for 40K. That's a much deeper discussion.
Well, yeah, but I mean, let's just sit down a little bit and talk about a little bit of the rest of the Tau stuff while we're at it.
Was there other stuff? Because I just saw the railgun and was like, well, okay.
Yeah, well, nothing in this update, but so battle suits now, everything they have fires as if it was a pistol in close combat.
So they can not suck in close combat. That's great.
Burst cannons are Assault 6 now instead of Assault 4, so they shoot better. The Tau Flamer is D6 plus 2 hits. It's still only strength 4.
Oh, yeah, it's a
but
flamer.
it's 12 inches. Multi-trackers have been changed. So if you're shooting at a big unit with a multi-tracker, each hit roll of 6 causes an additional hit. Maximum 1 multi-tracker
Exploding
per model.
6.
Yeah. Target lock. Each time you make a ranged attack with someone with a target lock, the target does not receive the benefits of light cover.
So no -1 to hit.
Yeah. Bop. So yeah, it's just, and then finally the old shoot and scoot is back too.
Yep.
Except it's a stratagem now.
Good.
Which makes sense. Yeah. And then the final one is, each time, drop threat acquisition. Each time a battlesuit in this unit makes a ranged attack, you reroll the hit roll if it is set up from reserves with certain abilities.
So airdrop in, nuke a priority target.
Yeah. And I mean, that was a Farsight Enclave's thing. It was called Drop Zone Clear.
Right.
For the longest time, but now it's Tau Empire. Like, oh, hey, we learned how to do that. And then they've got the new Montka and Kauyan tactics, which are more like the Space Marine ones now.
Right.
But yeah, Montka is the first three battle rounds. You get AP armor penetration gets better in certain ranges. So that means that if you get your fire warriors within 18 inches on turn 1, they're AP2 with their pulse rifles, which is nuts.
Yeah.
And then 3 through 5, you get each time a model with this. Okay, yeah. And then you get exploding 6s within 12 inches in the third battle round with the Kauyan, and then it goes up to 4 up exploding 6s at battle round 5. So it's like, oh man.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is
lots of good changes all around.
Yeah, no, this is the Tower, a big boy army now.
Yeah. I will say that when 9th edition came out, they called this the newest, most streamlined edition of Warhammer ever. We have thrown that out the window, and it exploded on impact.
Yeah, pretty much.
9th edition,
6s.
Yeah, 9th edition has so many rules.
It really does.
That streamlined document got just like thrown in the shredder. I don't know what happened.
I mean, it's streamlined in a way that 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th edition of 40K were not.
Sure,
because that was all bolted on rules, but this is all done with purpose.
It is, but it's not streamlined, like compared to 8th especially.
Well, right, yeah, but 8th was like 8th wasn't an addition so much as it was a test run.
Sure, it's a lot of rules to remember and a lot of I can do this and you can't.
Yeah,
and maybe this is just because I'm coming from someone who mostly plays Age of Sigmar,
yeah.
where the I can do this but you can't army is basically just Lumineth.
Yeah.
Lumineth
Realm Lords are a 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy army.
Sure.
In AOS.
By design. By admitted
yeah.
design. They are supposed to call back to High Elves.
Yeah.
That's not always a good thing.
No, it's not. But at the same point, like, you can see where the design documents are leading.
Yeah, sure.
But rather than the original Montka and Kauyan rules, which you could call once per battle, and you got really crappy results and benefits from it.
Right.
Now it's like, hey, this is ascending, and it fits on a card about that
This
big.
is also true.
Like, yeah. it'll fit on a card.
And of course, the codex isn't out yet. We don't know what's in the rest of it. So doom and gloom and crying OP or underpowered, of course, it never a good way to think about things.
Can I play Tau with my battle suits again?
Yes, you can.
Not have to work overtime to put in the, make them good.
People were complaining about the new Nurgle codex for Age of Sigmar, and it turns out, they're fine.
No, they're fine.
They're great. They're not game breaking.
Just stop listening to Tipton. Anyway,
stop name dropping actual people.
Sorry.
on our podcast. I wasn't even thinking.
He'll laugh at that.
I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking the internet. People. They lost their rules and they don't play like they used to. And yeah, the army that hasn't had a new battle tome since first edition AOS doesn't play like they used to. Shocker. But the point is, always wait till the book comes out to see whether it's good or bad.
And additionally, we have a running. I don't know if it's a running gag or if it's just a straight God honest truth, but people who are complaining about stuff like the way the games are balanced on the internet are not playing the game. They're
sometimes
reading the book. Well, I mean, I think we have maybe a little bit of a weird, but I was talking to Jess the other day about people were talking about how crappy Necrons were. I'm like, I don't know, they seem pretty good. If you can make your 5-up. We'll be back roll, but Math Hammer is not real hammer.
No, and there's a lot of other factors. The Necrons perform poorly in national tournaments right now.
Right.
That doesn't mean they're unplayable or bad at home in your local scene. If you brought Necrons here, you'd be fine.
Mm-hmm. We have a couple of folks who bring Necrons.
Yeah,
they do fine.
If you brought Necrons against I don't know, someone who's playing to win with the new Tau, you'll probably lose. But
but guess what?
You're probably going to lose no matter what you're bringing against that person if you're not playing the same kind of game they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true for AOS. It's true for every game, really.
Really, yeah.
Speaking of rules updates and other things, Games Workshop has announced a
couple new boxes.
Well, sorry, we were segueing into different things.
Oh dear,
I'm segueing into the seasons thing.
Oh yeah, you talk about that
because that's rules. So I'm actually gonna. I've got the press release right here.
Okay.
Now they kind of announced this for AOS too.
Yeah.
Where they said that we will be doing more rules updates more often, every 6 months.
Yeah. The big facts.
And there was much rejoicing.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. And that's great. And they basically said, hey, every 6 months there's going to be brand new rules updates and points adjustments for all the armies in 40K.
Right.
And they kind of also hinted this for AOS, but AOS kind of got its own article, so I'm going to focus on 40K because, spoiler, 40K also has the language that I don't particularly like, which is seasons.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's not beat around the bush here. Calling this seasons is because somebody at Games Workshop saw how the video game industry works and really, really wants a piece of that perpetual income machine.
What word would you use instead of seasons, though?
It could be anything else.
You just don't like the word seasons.
No, I don't like what I'm about to say. Because I've seen a lot of people complaining, the usual clickbait people. People ask for updates every 6 months, and now they get them and they're complaining. No. Nobody is complaining about getting rules updates every 6 months.
No.
What people are complaining about, and what I'm not particularly happy about, is getting sold rules updates every 6 months.
Yeah.
We already do that every year.
Mm-hmm.
We already do that every 3 years of the editions. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of, it's weird when you think about it. We've all just kind of accepted, if you're a Warhammer player, every 3 years I will have to buy a brand new book for my army.
Yeah.
Which is not a very long time for a $60 book. Plus $60 core rules.
Yeah.
We know it's an expensive hobby, but to me it's annoying when the expense is not just the very nice plastic models.
It's true.
It's also the books, translated by Google Translate into Spanish.
Arriba.
Compendium joke.
Yeah.
So, what they basically said is that every 6 months, and it's just the timeline, 6 months.
Yeah.
That's kind of a short period.
No. Well, yes, for one person.
For sales, not for rules updates.
Oh, yeah.
For rules updates, 6 months is a long time.
Well, so every 6 months is every 2 fiscal quarters, though.
Right. Oh, no, I know. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
This is not a game health decision. This is a how do we always got to make more money than you made last year.
Yeah.
Rule 101. If you are a private company, this doesn't apply. But if you are a company that has shareholders, stop playing the Lenin theme.
Damn it! Come on.
If you're a company that has shareholders, the only thing that kind of system cares about is growth.
Yeah.
It's not about how much you make. That doesn't matter. It's about you have to make more because their money has to be worth more each year, or they could be putting it somewhere else where it would be worth more.
Yeah.
And this is, how do we make more money off of our books? And the answer they came to was, well, require you to buy them more often.
Yeah.
So, there's the cool stuff, which is new campaign supplement every 6 months, new crusade rules every 6 months. And this is not new.
No, this is
new.
the opposite of new.
We saw this with Octarius, and we saw this with Vigilus Ablaze in the tail end of 8th edition, where they just put in new rules for every army.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot of book bloat.
Oh,
and when they were talking about 9th edition, they were talking so much about streamlining, and it's very clear that just went out the window.
Yeah, well, they were streamlining it up until somebody with the Keys of the Kingdom said, yeah, but what if you made more money?
Right, and you can call me naive for being hopeful, and you can call me a fool for not seeing this coming. By all means, do. Both of those things apply to me very, very aptly.
Precious.
But it's disappointing. It has kind of. I have not gotten into 40K fully yet, and this doesn't make me excited to do so. Because so now I have to buy the codex because I've got my Space Marines codex. But if I'm running a custom chapter, that's fine. But if I want to run any of the founding chapters that have a supplement, I need to get a supplement. So there's more money. And now I need to get this. Got to get the chapter approved every year. It used to be every year.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be every 6 months.
Yeah. So is the chapter approved also the new mission packs?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's the first season introduces a grand tournament mission pack, which provides the framework for the next 6 months of competitive play.
Which is what we use.
There will be new missions, new secondary objectives, and updated points costs for the armies in Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah.
That's already a part of our ecosystem, but doubling the pace does not seem like a good thing to me.
No.
It just seems like it's going to take because things take time to settle. And it seems to me what the goal here is that never let it settle. If you just mix up rules so constantly that people can never get to the point where they solve the game, is that their solution?
Yes, because a solved game is a fail state.
It is, but there's a difference between a solved game and just making things different so often that people can never learn the rules.
Yeah, I think the core rules, and again, those Grand Tournament packs have the core rules in them all the time anyway.
They do.
I don't think the core rules are going to change that much, but there's going to be like wording updates and all that
No,
stuff.
but when you combine new secondary objectives with the fact that every single codex has its own secondary objectives and its own rules and its own everything, it's just so much to keep track of. And as somebody who plays casually, this is not good, basically.
No, it's not.
I'm sure this is great if Warhammer is your only hobby that you like to put all your money into, and if you are a competitive player, this is probably something that you're looking at going, I don't see the problem.
Yeah.
But for little old me who just likes to paint up some stuff and kind of throw some dice.
Well, we've got the open war cards for you.
And, and like that isn't a legitimate response, is that you don't have to buy this. And I don't have to buy this.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not going to buy this.
I haven't bought a single one of the Crusade packs.
Well, Crusade, Crusade's a different thing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more about matched play.
Yeah, I bought the chapter approved stuff because I like the new missions.
Right.
And because I liked having a handy, basically a spare rule book.
Right.
And then I got into running tournaments around this joint, so I need it. But
we already kind of ran into this problem with AOS where I was playing with somebody and they were using the battle tactics out of the core rulebook.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, you can't use those. And he's like, why not? Well, it's because that's actually not matched play. Matched play is this book right here. And he goes, well, I don't have that.
Yeah.
And because he didn't buy the General's Handbook because he didn't think he needed it because there's battle tactics are in the core book.
Yeah.
Well, the battle tactics in the core book are slightly different than the ones in the General's Handbook.
Yeah.
And sure, I can just hand him my General's Handbook, which I do because I'm not a monster.
Right, obviously.
But that's just one book, and that's enough of a problem.
Yeah.
And this just seems like an exasperation of that problem. Not exasperation, extrapolation of that problem? Yeah, a biggering of that problem. A biggering and a buggering of that problem.
Problem get big.
Yeah. So, to me, I don't like it. It reeks to me of how do we get more money without necessarily making more of the expensive things.
Yeah, no, I feel you. But speaking of making more expensive things,
new boxes,
new box sets.
So yes, having just GW for about a solid 10 minutes. Now let's talk about rampant buying their stuff.
Yeah,
because we're suckers.
So we got new. We got new one new Auric Hearthguard or
You guys have all probably heard this news, but we'll go over it very briefly.
So there's
2 boxes, one for AOS, one for 40K.
40K, yeah.
AOS.
Fury of the Deep.
Naked dwarves versus naked elves.
Yep. Ideneth Deepkin and Fire Slayers are the next on the block to get new codices.
Naked dwarves and wet elves. There we go. That's the title of our
Sorry, we killed our producer there for a minute.
editor.
Yeah.
So it's Fire Slayers versus Ideneth Deepkin.
Yep.
They both get one new model.
Yep. One new character each.
One new character each.
Because I mean, yes, they are new models also, but they are more specifically they are character types.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see if they named characters or
an Auric Flamekeeper.
no, they're not named characters.
And where's this other Dorcas? He is a named character. The Akelian Thrallmaster. I misread it.
He might have a named version.
Yeah, there might be a named version of both of these guys, but yeah, there's a Thrallmaster for the Ideneth. He's like a counter. I almost said contrapposto.
Well,
that's not right, but yeah, you get a Flamekeeper and a Thrallmaster.
So interestingly, the Thrallmaster buffs Namarti.
Yeah,
and people who play Ideneth
don't play Namarti.
Right, Namarti aren't good. So the big problem with Namarti is that they are on 32mm bases with a 1-inch reach.
Yeah.
And
they are fragile.
Which Games Workshop, that's a problem that Games Workshop just refuses to acknowledge or solve.
Yep.
They keep releasing infantry models on 32s with 1-inch reach, which if you don't play Age of Sigmar, the problem with that is that you can only fight in one rank.
Yeah.
Which means if you have more than 5 guys, the guys in the back aren't going to get to do anything.
Yeah.
Which sucks. This gives me hope.
Yeah,
that
I think
the new battle tomes are coming. Now, I think that if we were not in a supply chain nightmare, in the shipping hellscape we currently are, that this announcement would have been accompanied by and 2 new battle tomes.
Yeah,
I think because we are in a supply chain nightmare, Suez Canal picture goes here.
Yeah.
The battle tomes are going to come later.
Right.
But I am calling that those are the next 2 battle tomes.
Right, and I mean that's always been the way of it. Like,
yeah, it's they did the same thing with Ether War and Shadow and Pain and
was it
Feast of Bones?
The Custodes versus
although those aren't out yet.
Genestealers
versus Custodes.
Yeah, so we know it's coming.
Speaking of other things we know are coming, the 40K version is Eldar versus Chaos. Same thing. Many more new models for these guys.
Yeah, lots new.
Eldar
models.
are getting new Rangers and new Rangers on jet bikes,
and it's a new Autarch model that has all of the actual options you've been able to equip him with since 4th edition.
It's an elf. They're elf players. They're used to being disappointed.
Sad
it's funny. True. If you play elves in Age of Sigmar, you get everything. If you play elves in 40K, you get nothing.
You get nothing, and you like it. But yeah, no, this the lady and the weapons and upgrades are cross-compatible with the existing Autarch model, which is like
also handy.
Yeah, I was like, oh, hey, you thought about it a little bit.
Yeah.
So we got 3 new we got new sculpts for Rangers, which is like the 4th or 5th new sculpt they've gotten in the last decade, I think.
Rangers?
Yeah, there's the really itty bitty ones that are the metal, and then they put a new. No, this is the 3rd new sculpt for them. Very recently, they put out a new set of these Rangers.
Really?
Yeah.
No, they're resin on the Games Workshop site.
Yeah.
Or is that just new?
That's just newer?
Oh, I mean, they're resin Finecast, so I'm counting them as old.
Well, I mean, they were old, but I have a set of Rangers that's older.
Right. Well, yeah. Point is, it's plastic Rangers.
Yeah. Plastic Rangers, and they look great.
Yes.
And then they get these Shroud Runner things, which are snipers on jet bikes. I don't know what to think about that. They look kind of cool, but...
And then Chaos get a bunch of Chosen and
Possessed. A
Warpsmith.
Yeah. And a Forge Fiend.
The Forge Fiend's not new, just in the box, but that's cool.
Yeah. It's nifty.
So, and I think this also pretty obviously precludes the next 2 codexes are probably going to be Chaos Space Marines and Eldars?
Yeah, I would think so.
Because Chaos have not got a new 9th edition codex, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, neither have Eldar, but yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not surprising anybody. Yeah. They're Eldar.
I just want to point out...
You'll be lucky if they get a 9th edition codex, sir.
Eldar used to be top tier.
Yeah, well, a lot of things did.
That's true. Tau used to be top tier.
And last bit of news, I think, that I have anyway.
Yeah, go for it.
Cursed City is coming back.
Hey!
So Cursed City, we weren't allowed to talk about it because it was excised from existence. It was declared, boxata non grata.
Boy. Make sure you type that out, Jeff, and just boxata non grata across the bottom of the screen.
So Cursed City, very brief rundown. Newest Warhammer quest set in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Set in it's humans versus vampires. Set in the Cursed City of Ulfenkarn in Shaiish. Came out in the lead up. Games Workshop insisted that it would be a long running product supported.
Yep.
And then it came out.
And COVID happened.
well, we don't know.
Yeah.
What we know is that, and I'm not going to let GW off the hook for this.
Right.
And I'm going to say it. It came out. Games Workshop and Warhammer community deleted all of the posts that ever said that it was ever going to be a perpetual product.
Yep.
Insisted that it was always supposed to be a limited run release, and refused to elaborate further, which is scummy.
Yeah.
I don't care what your reasoning is. I understand that you're not allowed to say things that might scare your shareholders.
Yeah.
It's scummy, and they deserve to get heat for it. I got a box of Cursed City, by the way, so this is not me being bitter.
I did too.
I got mine. I know. I got you yours.
Yeah, I bought mine off.
Shout out to that guy in California on the Tabletop Minions Discord who I bought that from. You are a champion, and you got him his box.
Thank you.
Anyway,
I've built all that stuff. I haven't painted it yet.
Me too. Well, because I don't know about you, but once the sour taste left in the mouth kind of made me not want to build and play it, which doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Because I bought the dang box, and it's a good game. We did a trial run, but I don't know. The fact that it's like the scumminess behind what Games Workshop did with that. But anyway, it's back, or it's coming back.
Dragon Strike, so
yeah, it's not back yet. It's coming back, and expansions are coming, which we all knew eventually there would be expansions.
Right.
So
it's got the Warhammer Quest logo on it.
Right. So to this what this hints at. There was a lot of rumors about why this happened.
Yeah.
Everything from just supply chain issues to the cardboard shortage, or to the printing shortage, to my favorite fan theory is that because they called the former city name of Ulfenkarn was Mournhold, which is the name of the main Dark Elf city in the Elder Scrolls. And ZeniMax is notoriously litigious. That there was a legal issue with that. That was the funnest theory to me. I don't think that was it. We'll see when if they change that in the new book, though. Oh my God, that would be the most amazing thing.
Wait a minute, you're telling me that ZeniMax is a notorious litigious entity, and Games Workshop might have crossed their path, who is also a notoriously litigious...
ZeniMax is a lot bigger.
Yeah, it's true.
Have you seen how many times Skyrim's come out?
It's true.
There are more copies of Skyrim than there are Primaris lieutenants.
There are more copies of Skyrim than there are people in my hometown.
We gotta cover that game. That is a fun game. I mean, the miniatures game. It is actually a very fun miniatures game. Very interesting. It has a solo mode. Anyway, Cursed City is coming back, coming out with expansions. I'm not gonna let GW off the hook for this, because I'm super important as a guy who does a dumb podcast. But
do you want to make us important people? Then share this podcast around.
Yeah,
Get
right.
us more subscribers and interact with our posts.
Thankfully, far more important people than me are also giving GW crap for this because they deserve it.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a supply chain issue, just say, we have a supply chain issue. They did that when the Sylvaneth book got caught in the boat.
Right.
But for whatever reason, it was no. Cursed City was always going to be limited run. Yeah.
And again, I think that was...
Don't pour Mountain Dew in my ear and tell me it's raining.
I think it might have been a legalese problem.
There are legal problems where you're not allowed to do things that will tank your stock.
Well, and the other thing, I was going to say,
unless you're Elon Musk.
Legally, we're not allowed to tell you whether or not, we're not allowed to have something up if we can't guarantee that the product is actually going to come out.
Yeah, there was a lot of rumors that it was their cardboard and their cardstock manufacturer went out of business and changed hands, and the price went up. I heard that one from, I think, Tabletop Minions is where I heard that one.
Yeah.
Who heard it from someone else? That's all grapevine. We don't know. The point is, Cursed City's back and coming out with the expansions.
Cool.
I am at once still mad and also going to buy it. Because we're Warhammer fans, and we are nothing if not absolute suckers for buying stuff despite complaining about it.
There's a Warhammer fan born every minute.
I hope so.
Anyway, so do we have any other news?
I don't. Do you? I'm sure there's some we're missing.
Probably,
that
but
Borderlands Kickstarter I backed got fully funded to the surprise of absolutely nobody.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't have any other news.
Screw it, it's January.
So it will be when this comes out.
Yeah.
It's not January yet. Speaking of, let's do the thing that everybody does this time of year when they have a podcast, and let's talk about 2022. Hopes, fears, and goals. Name of the podcast episode. Give me a hope for 2022. Let's inject some levity.
Hope as in hope for hobbies, right?
Oh yeah, no. Let's I hope we don't get COVID. I hope y'all get your vaccinations. Get your vaccinations. I hope that the world gets better, but let's try and keep this miniatures related.
I hope I don't take a nightstick to the face for standing up for what's right. Weirder things have
Stop
happened.
spoiling my podcast episode ideas.
I have one. It's called Josh Gets Soap Socked Until He Passed Out.
It's not a nightstick, it's a truncheon. I couldn't buy a nightstick. Oh. Anyway, yeah, so let's give me a hope or a goal for you.
Okay, so a hope is that between the Tau, Eldar, and Chaos codices coming out, that I don't forget about other armies that I put a lot of work into lately.
Would that be filed more under a fear?
That's not really a fear. It's a hope for me because I'm notoriously like
mercurial is the nice word for it.
That's a nice way to put it. Yeah.
ADHD is the diagnosis.
Yeah. Pretty much. That between all these codices coming out that I actually like, that I don't just stop caring and is like, well, that's a lot of work. I don't really want to build a list.
Yeah.
Guess I'm just going to go play Knights again.
Yeah. There's that comfort thing.
Yeah. It's just like that I go outside of my comfort zone a little bit and just kind of embrace the new. Yeah, just like embrace.
So you hope to embrace the new.
Yeah. Like
okay.
I hope that I get some of these projects cleared off of my list.
We could cross stitch that onto a kitschy, doily.
Embrace the new. Murder is okay.
What's funny is like embrace the new can be incredibly, depending on what picture you put. If you put a picture of you painting an army, that's incredibly inspirational.
Yeah.
If it's a picture of a Cthulhu or a mass of tentacles, that's actually quite scary. Embrace the changes and be consumed.
I feel the warp overtaking me. It is a good pain.
My hope. I kind of hope the same thing. I really hope that this might be a forlorn hope, but I hope the supply chain issues that have been plaguing our hobby start to get. They're not going to go away.
No,
because spoiler, COVID ain't going away. Get your vaccinations.
Get your vaccinations.
So they're not going to go away. I'm hoping that companies learn to work around them a little better.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they're finally understanding that this isn't going to. They're going to have to make changes to get things to work.
Yeah. Sorry, you're going to have to change your business model.
You can't do, there's the thing where it's, what's it called? On-demand supply, where things never sit in a warehouse. They only arrive as you need them because warehouse space is expensive.
Which is why you're paying so much for video cards lately.
Right. Because nobody wants to store them. It's just the idea is you get it from the manufacturer as you need it. And if supply chains aren't, turbo screwed, that works perfectly. But supply chains are turbo screwed.
And will be for
and probably will be for the foreseeable future. So I hope that companies, and by companies I mean Games Workshop, but honestly all of the companies, I think a lot of the other indie companies have already kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
A lot of indie companies are moving more to digital because you don't have to mail a PDF.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to buy the new rule set for my indie game? Yeah, it's on.
Sure.
It's on War Game Vault. Go download it.
Okay, cool.
And then
hey, it's on Drive-Thru RPG. Hey, swell. Hey.
Yeah, exactly. I hope the bigger companies kind of get their heads out of their
collected
warps
butts.
And
warp holes.
Yeah. Oh gosh, knowholes. Get their heads out of their Skaven knowholes and
out of their eyes of terror.
That is also, and here's my long shot shoot from the moon hope. I want the Skaven line redo.
Yeah, cool.
I say that every year.
Cheese Stealer cult. Yep.
I want Skaven. If there's any model line in Age of Sigmar that needs an update, it's Skaven.
I see your Skaven and I raise you Saurus warriors.
No, yeah, I said model line.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. Seraphon also need a model update. The difference is the Seraphon don't have mental models, CJ.
Oh, that's true.
And they excise the resin ones.
That's
And they replace them when they're new updates. Saurus Warriors still look a little derpy, but they paint fine.
Yeah.
Old Skaven models don't look fine, and half of them are still metal. Acolytes are run in units of 10, and it is $10 a model for that metal dude throwing a little ball. Skaven needed an update bad. And I love Skaven. I want to play Skaven. I am not buying 30-year-old models to play Skaven.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that update. That's my hope. That is my far shot. Hope Games Workshop comes out with my army. I hope they redo the entire darn Skaven line, and I can finally play a Chaos army and just slam Mountain Dew and say it's Warp Fuel every time I roll a 6.
Good. Warp Fuel. Cool. Yeah, well, that's a hope. Yeah, one of my hopes is, in general, is just to play different games. There's hope/goal.
Hope or goal, yeah. Play more games.
Play different games. Not because I can play more games of Warhammer of any stripe. I have a bunch of mini agnostic games that I could play, that I want to play, like Stargrave or
Frostgrave?
Yeah, for Frostgrave, I guess, yeah.
Landgrave, Earthgrave, Watergrave, Firegrave, Captain Planetgrave.
And then the Avatar Grave disappeared.
Everything was fine until the Firegrave Nation attacked. I don't know. Anyway.
But yeah, Sludge also is one that I actually bought. I bought STLs for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to play more different games. That being said, yeah, like I want to play Cursed City. I want to play more Dragon Strike. I want to play. Well, we'll talk about some of the stuff I kickstarted later, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, my goal is I want to, for the first time, something I have never quite accomplished because I am also mercurial, which is ADHD as heck. I want to paint an army, a 2,000-point list of Age of Sigmar.
Okay.
It'll probably be Cities of Sigmar with a lot of Stormcast in it rather than just Stormcast. It would be easier to do Stormcast.
Right, yeah.
Far fewer models.
Line that.
But I think Cities is where my heart is. Cities with a lot of Stormcast in it is where my heart is.
Yeah.
So my goal is to paint an army. I would also like to paint a kill team.
Well, there you go.
And I would like to paint a Necromunda team, which I'm already partially done because I've already started.
Yeah, hey, there you go.
So those are my goals, is to painting with purpose. I paint a lot, but I paint very scattershot. I tend to paint whatever just comes to my mind, which means I have a lot of half-painted teams. I want to finish things. I want to paint an army, front, top to bottom, done.
Okay.
And, 3-color minimum at least. And
I was gonna say.
Well, this is part of the reason why I have trouble finishing things, is because I have a bad perfectionism streak.
Right.
I have the bad combination of a perfectionist streak and not being very good at things, which means that you never finish them.
Yeah.
Because it's never good enough.
Right.
I got to get over that.
Yeah. I was just going to say, one of our friends posted, like, hey, I put 14 hours into this kill a boss on Nashtooth, and I was just like, you're allowed to stop at some point.
Yeah, but that's Kevin, and he enjoyed every 14 hours. Every minute of that was 14 hours. Also, it looks great.
It looks great. And I was just like, he was just like, yeah, I put 14 hours into this, and it's not done yet. And it's just like,
he could stop, but
he could stop.
But
now.
he doesn't. Well, that's the thing, though. He doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And there's models that I'm going to put that much time into that I don't want to stop on. I guarantee you, when I finally get to painting Kazurai or Krondus, the big dragons, oh boy, I'm going to be spending time on those. That's not going to be a speed paint. And if you're enjoying every moment, that's what matters.
That's what's important. Yeah.
Got any other goals or hopes?
Yeah, a bunch of the board games that I kickstarted.
Ah, yes.
A bunch of the miniature games that I kickstarted, I should say.
What's this? The consequences of my kickstarting? Coming home to roost?
Well, if it's not the consequences of my dumb actions.
Me reaping. This is great. Me sowing.
I hate this.
Yeah. No, you don't hate this. You're getting board games.
That's true.
What are you getting? You're getting Monster Apocalypse.
I got Monster Apocalypse, Full Tilt, all of it. Primal the Awakening, almost all of it. Monster Hunter World, I think all of it. Look, I have disposable income and poor impulse control.
Bad combo.
Bad combination.
Oh, you mean you're a Warhammer player? Yeah.
There it is. But on top of that, I still have Galaxy Hunters that I got last year. I haven't painted yet. and I kickstarted that as well because of course I did. Did an unboxing on this channel. It's in this corner right up here, or maybe
it's in an corner at some point with a little button.
Mm-hmm. Don't click off the podcast.
Wait, don't go
to watch that. But put it in your right
click. Come back.
Middle click it and make another Chrome tab. Anyway, one of my hopes is that I will paint at least one of those all the way through.
Is that a hope or a goal?
It's a hope and a goal. It's a goal that I hope I do.
Fair enough.
That I just sit down with one of my board games that has minis in it and just knock it out. And that could even be Dragon Strike down here. Or Adeptus Titanicus, or, finish off the Blitzball teams or something. I just do, but not the same, I guess is the
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, let's break up some of the great with some of the fears.
Uh-huh.
Obviously the supply chain issues is a constant gnawing fear. Like at any point, anything that I want to come out or could order could be delayed or just not happen.
Yeah.
That weighs on us all. Obviously, there's a lot of fears that weigh on us all. We won't talk about those.
One of my fears for this year is that all the stuff that I want comes too soon, and it's all there, and I can't.
It's overwhelming, and
it's overwhelming me, and I just put it all in the closet and I hide from it.
Well, think of it. Look at the bright side. If that happens, we have a great podcast, a great episode we can do about what to do when overwhelmed by all the consequences of your actions and buying minis.
Step 1, scream. Step 2, cry.
Step 3, eBay.
Step 3, curl up in a ball.
Try not to cry.
Try not to cry. Cry a lot.
I'm worried this year about Games Workshop kind of, for the lack of a better term, regressing into the Games Workshop of old. Like we've kind of had this golden age pre-pandemic of like more communication and things coming out and being great and like more gateway games and more ways to get people into the hobby.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing kind of started with Curse City, but also just more with Curse City and their communication is just they're withdrawing into their old ways of you will buy from us because you have to. You will buy our crap no matter what, and we don't have to try.
Right.
And I realize that it's a giant faceless company. Like, there's faces to it, but it's a giant company. It's driven by profit motives. So the idea that they're friendlier or nicer is kind of a misnomer to begin with.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I don't like...
less crappy.
Well, that doesn't mean I don't like being lied to. And we do. We like being lied to by the companies we buy from. We like to think that maybe they're not just completely evil. And I wish Games Workshop would at least kind of pretend to not be completely evil for a little bit. I'm worried that they're just going to digress into mask off, gloves off.
Yeah.
Buy our crap because you have to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the thing about companies is that they are perfectly functional, crappy AIs.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, cool.
I see you're trying to build a Warhammer army. Would you like help with that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh God.
But without any without any rancor towards it, like they are functional, but they are not human.
No. Despite what the United States Supreme Court says, it is not a human entity.
Yeah.
Or you stop trying to play the Lenin. Ha!
No!
Just got Trotsky'd. Anyway.
I got farsighted.
That's my main fear. My other kind of fear is I don't want GW to discover digital non-ownership.
So help me God, if Games Workshop announces an NFT,
it's coming.
It's
going to happen in 2022. Games Workshop is going to announce some form of NFT bullcrap.
I am going to get a ticket to Nottingham with a shotgun.
You can't.
I'm going to solve that problem.
It's going to have to be an air. In Minecraft, we have to legalize that one.
In Minecraft, yes, I'm going to Nottingham in Minecraft, and I'm going to aim my Minecraft shotgun at James Workshop's digital square blocky head.
Stop making all this is getting bleeped, by the way. Just bloop 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 bloop. Stop making threats. No, like
not threats. It's a promise.
At some point, they're gonna discover digital non-ownership, and it's gonna suck.
Well, yeah, but the problem is that
But my hope is that Games Workshop's perennial fear of anything digital will stop them from crossing that Rubicon.
Yeah, the dinosaurs that run that.
The Rubicon Digitarius.
Digitalis.
Digitalis?
Yeah, because it's a poison. Fun jokes.
Other hopes is, I hope that the growth, because we've seen a massive explosion of tabletop gaming over the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I hope that, A, I hope the pandemic widens down, get your shots. And B, I hope that doesn't stop.
Yeah, I hope people are interested, continue to be interested.
We have tripled the amount of people playing 40K and AOS here since things kind of opened back up.
Yeah.
Because people are discovering this great new hobby. I hope that continues. I want this explosion of board games and tabletop games and RPGs and war games to just, it can't last forever. There is no such thing as infinite growth. But I should stop it. I want that. Yeah, I want that wave to keep going.
Right.
I want to keep riding that wave.
The great wave of
because it's so much fun to see so many people getting into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got any ending thoughts before we go into this brave new year of 2022?
Not particular. Well, playing Basement Hammer with my buddies at their place and playing it out here where everybody's kind of on the same page is like kind of fascinating. So I hope that one of my big hopes is that I can get the people that I like to play with here and the people that I grew up playing with to kind of merge into one.
Yeah, you always want your friends to be friends.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Their friends are friends, and their friends and our friends are not friends. Sort of thing. Yeah, like I want my friends who did this weird thing called having children and getting married. I want them to rejoin the hobby. I know, right?
I've got one of those too.
Yeah.
I miss you, Ian. Don't worry, I'll paint those orcs for you someday, I swear.
Mike, come back. I told you about the tournament. You should come play in it.
Baby, come back. You can paint it all with me.
Putting that performance degree to good use, I see.
Yes.
Anyway.
Well, I'm out of soda, so that's it for the Miniatures Rundown podcast.
Oh, we're not going to do Pile of Shame?
Oh, crud.
All right, you got to do this uncaffeinated. So.
Oh no. Pile of Shame.
Let's talk Pile of Shame. So, I got Hellbrecht done, pictures here. I did not get the Outriders done because I realized that Outriders kind of suck. But
yeah,
it wasn't worth doing when I could put more time into Hellbrecht and Techmarine that I picked up at the same time. So I feel pretty good about that.
I discovered that I need to approach my Pile of Shame a different way.
Oh yeah?
I need to paint whatever the hell comes to my mind at the moment.
Okay.
Because no, I didn't get any of those things painted that I said I was going to get painted.
Oh wow.
I have done so much painting though.
Okay.
I painted all of those rocks. I painted half my Necromunda team. I painted half my Cities of Sigmar. I started painting my Ironclad. I started painting more terrain. I built.
Okay, so yeah, you.
I have figured out that for me, what matters is my goal needs to be sit down, paint on brush, and go.
Okay.
Rather than saying I'm going to paint specific things.
Oh, okay.
Because if I say I have to paint a specific thing, what happens is it becomes a job. But if I just say I'm going to paint, I get so much more done. So we talked in our Pile of Shame episode way back when.
Yeah.
Pachow. Copyright Uncle Adam.
Anyway, yeah.
We talked in our episode way back then about you need to find the way that you conquer your Pile of Shame the way that works for you.
Right.
Setting specific goals doesn't work for me. But making myself sit down and promising to hobby on something has worked wonders.
Okay, so in which case, how do we change?
That's the problem. Is like now we have. How do we set goals?
What? Okay, so over the next 2 weeks, you want to sit down and paint.
My goal for the next
X
2
amount
weeks.
Is it X amount of time?
Nope. My goal for the X amount of weeks is I'm going to sit down and paint, not just hobby, specifically paint.
Okay.
Something every day.
Okay.
Without fail, I will put paint on my brush and put that brush on a model every single day.
Okay.
That is my goal.
Cool. Well, given that Tau Hammerheads are now everybody's baby boy.
Out of stock online.
But I already own one, so...
I should go out and get one.
Yeah, you should. I think I might.
I mean, as we've said, I do love Tau aesthetic. No,
It's
I'm
really
not
good.
buying an army. Nope. Nope.
Do not buy an
Nope.
army. If you want to play Tau, you borrow
Nope.
mine until
Nope.
such time.
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope.
Guess that's it for us then. So I'm going to paint a Tau Hammerhead sometime in the next 2 weeks. And maybe if I feel really froggy, I'll do 2 of them. You all right down there, bud?
I think so. I just have to talk myself out of buying a new army.
You have to live down here now.
Down here, where the Skaven are, in the sewers.
Okay. Down here with the rest of the dirt bags. Okay. So yeah, that's our goal. Those are our pile of shame goals. Just very quickly.
We all float swim down here.
I hate you. Hey Georgie, you want to eat a rat? So what? Yeah, pile of shame goals. We're gonna put it across the screen right now. Paint every day. Period. End of story. Whatever that ends up being,
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Gonna be something. I've got enough.
yeah. Just likewise. And for me, the goal is 3 colors. Tau Hammerhead. Make sure it works. Make it look good.
Yep.
Or as good as a giant tank can look. I think it's already base coated black, so that's a good start. It means I can't use contrast paints on it, but that's okay.
Oh, you could.
Well, I could. I just have to really work at it.
No. Don't worry. Stay tuned for the video episode where I evangelize the magic of the Zenithal Prime to CJ.
Oh, right, yes.
Until next time, though, that's it for the Miniatures Rundown podcast. Actually, this time, I promise.
Actually, this time.
If you enjoyed our yammering, please leave us a like and a comment and share this video around. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So, my doctor called while you were filming and said I can't listen to your podcast anymore because I need to decrease my sodium intake.